Hello and welcome into another episode of Farm to Fame. We are through April. We're in May.
My Lord.
We did it. We done did it. The first month of the season. I'm Kelsey Wingert. We have Peter Moylan with us and Maddie Mass producing for our fifth full-length episode of Farm to Fame.
Wow.
Everybody.
This is how people get to thousands of podcasts without even knowing it, because we've already done 5.
Yeah.
You know, when you
we've
see
really
people,
done 8.
This is podcast number 7,400. Like, come on, really?
Yeah.
But I see it. I said, when you've got content that's changing, it's fluid. Man.
Yeah. Hey, you got to get 5 to get to 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
How
I don't think
doing?
I've ever heard it said so eloquently, but yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
How's everybody doing?
I'm so good. I'm wearing a Manscaped t-shirt. Wonder why. Wonder why I'm wearing a Manscaped t-shirt. We might find out later in the show.
Maddie Mass, how are you?
I'm good.
Are you sure you're okay, Maddie? You know, you've got that look on your face, like fresh cut. You look.
Did you get a fresh cut?
No, but
No fresh cut.
It looks so
fresh
good.
Cut, not up here, but Manscaped. I don't know.
Boom.
You also have a really cool sweatshirt on today. Pretty sick, isn't it?
Okay, I like that.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out Disney, Lion King. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next ad. Disney.
Please. Y'all, so like April rocked. I was did you see the video that MLB posted, like recapping the month of April? There were so many, all of the things.
I haven't, and I wish I had have, because it was a good month, and it was a bad month.
Yeah.
Depending on where you sit. As a Braves fan or a Yankees fan or someone who's supposed to be sitting atop of the division right now fan, and they're not, that can be stressful.
Yeah. But
you keep telling yourself that it's early and things will change. And, we're all hoping that happens. But I mean, shout out to the Brewers, shout out to the Giants, shout out to the Royals, these guys that are sitting on top of divisions that shouldn't be sitting on top of divisions. I mean, some people knew about the Royals, but we won't. I can't remember who it was. Someone.
Who was it, Peter?
I can't remember. I'm not a guy that talks about myself a lot, but I just, I don't know who it was.
So at what point, you mentioned the Braves and the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's early. We're only a month in. But at what point is it like valid for people to start kind of panicking?
I mean, it's the way that the games are being lost and the casualties along the way. That's, I think, we're losing. The Braves lost Darno.
Mm-hmm.
Starters have been hurt still. Bullpen hasn't been stellar of late. But it's. I don't know. I'm sure there's some panic amongst fans, but amongst the clubhouse that have got to try and keep an even keel, and they still have the bodies there to be good.
Yeah.
But lucky for the Braves and everyone else in the NL East that no one's running away with it. So
yeah.
And I've heard that said a number of times this week, but it's true. I watched the Mets Phillies last night, and it was just a typical NL East game. It's basically how it all boils down. It was just sloppy, exciting, and thought it was even more exciting. Turned out it wasn't that exciting because it bounced off the railing. But it's like it was a typical NL East game. Bullpen came in, gives it up. Almost, it was up and down all over the place.
Well, you're talking about the injuries for the Braves.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, young, thick Austin Riley, hitting 329.
Yeah.
So I see he only has 3 home runs. So has he changed?
That's recent.
Something?
Like he hit his first one in New York when we were there. He went backside in New York, went oppo. I feel like that's the kind of swing that gets someone locked in. He got a cheap base hit earlier in that game as well. I think a bloop single over first base, and then next at bat he went deep. So Brian Jordan talks about when you're in a slump, get yourself jammed a few times and to get yourself back into it. So maybe he's letting that ball get a little bit deeper and shooting the ball the other way and getting that first homer sort of unlocks something with him. But he's just, he got 4 hits the other day. Like he just seems to be comfortable. His defense had been there all year. So it's nice to see him sort of pick up and start to hit the ball.
Yeah. So good for Austin Riley. That's been good to see. But a guy that I know you are ready to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Take a little flight to Colorado to talk about Justin Lawrence for the Rockies.
Yes.
So
This dude's been all over Twitter, right?
yeah, 12th round pick in 2015.
Yep.
And he blew up this week on Twitter.
Yep. Blew up. Well, I helped, I think, but yeah, you're right. He blew up. But yeah, this is a guy that jumped around from college to college, sort of was used a little bit sparingly. Where did he go first? He went to Jacksonville and then transferred to Daytona State College. That's where he went from here to here.
Okay.
Started to drop his arm angle down, started to get a little bit more comfortable. And if I tell you what, if there's someone that can relate to that, it's me. But drafted in the 12th round, 2015 draft, suspended 80 games last year for PEDs. All I can hear about is electric stuff. If you haven't seen the videos yet, go watch his videos on Twitter. He's 101 miles an hour sidearm sinkers that are moving about 3 feet. And he's also got a pretty plus slider to go with it. But yeah, interesting story. Was born in the Panama Canal Zone. Matty Mass, have you done your research?
My research, it is the area surrounding the Panama Canal that used to be owned by the United States. But in the late 1900s, it's now been owned by Panama.
Okay. So he's American? I think he's an
No.
American citizen. He's not.
Well, if he was born after 1979, I believe he's a citizen of Panama.
Okay.
However, fun fact that I found in my dive was that presidential nominee John McCain was born there.
J-Mac.
So while he was running, it was a big thing. Oh, is he allowed to run since he was born there? We don't know.
Juicy.
Wow.
Well,
Excellent.
I mean, you liked this guy enough for him to be our opener.
Right. The reason why
Yeah.
is because of the story, right? Because it's very similar to my story, and not just because I want to talk about myself all the time, but I just think that this is sometimes the path that leads you to the big leagues isn't necessarily a straight line, right? And it wasn't for me, and it wasn't for this guy. So I can feel what he's been through. I can understand what he's going through. I know what it's like to have electric stuff from that arm angle, and I know what it's like to feel like that's your arm angle that's going to take it to the big leagues. And it's something that so unexpected for me. I was doing it as a joke, and I guess for him, it sort of worked out the same way. It's out of necessity sometimes that most guys will drop down, but the crazy part is you don't normally gain miles per hour when you do that. Mm-hmm. This is a last ditch effort for most guys. Oh, I can't get anyone out. Let's see if I can get it from here. Whereas him, drop down, it's comfortable arm slot. Velocity increases. He's now sitting 98 to 100 from that sidearm slot. So you want to talk about the increased velocity that there is around the game? Yeah. It's coming from everywhere too. It's not just the guys that are straight over the top, but it's everyone that's throwing from every arm angle is bringing high velo. But I just think this is the guy we need to watch out for. 26 years old. Yeah, I just think he's exciting and he's electric, and it's a story that people need to hear about and people need to follow. And
well, did you read the story in the Gazette by Daniel Allentuck?
Give it to me. I probably did, but
2018, he had a 265 ERA and 55 appearances in Class A Advanced. That's really good. We like those numbers, right?
Yes.
And then in 2019, between AA and AAA, his ERA plummeted to 8.76.
Oh, it skyrocketed.
Yeah. And then he was suspended in the 2020 season for DHCMT, whatever it is.
Right.
But he is another one of those guys who claimed that he didn't knowingly ingest it, and that the supplements he was taking came from an NSF certified brand. So
he was suspended and then served his 80 games, just like
Emanuel.
That's him.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a point where this is going to get where they can prove their innocence, and then MLB has to be like, sorry, here's your 80 games pay, here's your 80 games service time, here's all that back that we cost you? Because it's a lot of the times you can sense when someone's telling their story whether they're telling the truth or whether they and these guys that are finding this 1970s Soviet powerlifting steroid in their system for some reason, it just seems like it's it seems like it's going to come back to bite MLB, is what I'm trying to say, because there's too many guys that are having this happen to them.
So, okay. But the thing that I loved about his story, Peter, is that
Yes.
when he was suspended, he went back home and trained at the facility that he trained at the previous off season. Because what else are you supposed to do?
Right.
And he started coaching a 12U and a 15U team and helping out with an 18U team. And he taught private lessons. And the guy who like runs the facility, his son played for one of the teams. And I read on Twitter that he is on the autism spectrum and has a really hard time opening up to people. And that Justin really took him under his wings and they would play video game, whatever. And the article really just spoke to the kind of like person Justin is.
Exactly.
It was a great article. So we'll definitely keep tabs on him this season. He was recalled on April 29th, and that was his big league debut.
Sure was.
And then pitched another scoreless inning on May 1st, Saturday.
Right. Punch out the side. And to be honest, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. And if he can get himself to the point where he starts, I don't think Colorado has a closer right now. They have a big name closer? Or is it closer by committee right now? I'm not sure, but I could see him definitely getting that role in very soon if he keeps throwing the way that he's throwing.
Yeah.
Kelsey, did you get a chance to see any of his videos online?
Yeah.
Okay. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's really, really gross. And I obviously posted a video of myself doing the same thing, but it's gross. It's gross.
That was our opener segment. And now we're going to move into our Rookie of the Year watch. And what is really exciting this week is that our Rookie of the Year watch is brought to you by Manscaped.
Yeah, it is.
We got a sponsor. Our very first sponsor, and we'll never ever forget it. So this segment is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming, champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right. 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off.
That's pretty good.
20% off and
That's
free
really good.
worldwide shipping with the code FARM at manscaped.com. So let's talk about it.
Give us your first impressions, Kels. What do you think?
I think that it's a woman who's designing the packaging, because the packaging
it's elite.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And when you open it up inside.
See, I don't have mine down here because I've already used it, and that wouldn't be fun for the viewers. So I'm going to go ahead and let you do that.
It says it's a whole new balls game.
It is. It has.
It's like
so the packaging, speaking of packaging, it reminds you of I'm not even sure if we're allowed to mention other products on here, but it reminds you of an Apple product. When you open it up, everything fits. It's all beautiful.
Yeah, just
it's
like really nice packaging.
It's beautiful, right? Yeah. Then you get it out of the packaging. You got a little charging station. You've got your little bits that you can add to if you don't want to go too close to the skin in other areas. I would suggest maybe getting 2, one for the beard, one for the Balsacius maximus.
I wonder if you could use this on your beard. Right?
Of course you can. Yeah, but I wouldn't use the same one. It might get a little funky around the monkey, if you know what I'm saying.
Look at this.
I know. It's got a light. It's got a multi-functioning power button on it. It's got everything that you've ever needed for a balls trimmer. Go out and get one. Order one, boys.
Yeah.
Your woman will thank you.
We got a code for our farmers.
I will thank you.
So
your friends you have to shower with will thank you. Most men don't get to shower with other men, so maybe this is a good ad read for me, because I've showered with a lot of other men, and there's been a lot of teammates that could definitely have used the Lawnmower 4.0. I can promise you that.
Well, send them our code.
Type in farm, 20% off.
We love Manscaped, our very first ever sponsor, and we'll never forget it. So again, 20% off and free shipping with the code FARM at manscaped.com. And and also,
is that worldwide shipping, Kelsey?
Yeah, worldwide. So all of your Melbourne Aces fans in Australia.
Huge.
And They sent a T-shirt that you're wearing.
Very well, by the way.
Yes, you are.
And boxer
And
shorts, but
they sent the boxers, which like
they're so comfortable.
I put them on, and like it has like the weird thing in the front that doesn't apply to me.
It's the penis pouch, yes.
But the material is very soft. Like,
yeah,
I wish that I could wear them like in public.
You can.
Anyway, the boxers are super comfortable, and Peter's rocking the T-shirt and really likes the Lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah.
And the packaging is awesome. So thank you, Manscaped, for supporting us and for sponsoring this segment, the Rookie of the Year watch. So we're going to start off with Trevor Rogers, who is a dude that we've talked about a lot this season for the Marlins. Monday, he 6-shutty, lowered his ERA to 1.29. And Sunday, he faced off against one of the best, Max Scherzer. Peter,
he gave up a few finally on Sunday, but still
has a 1.91 ERA.
Right, exactly, and punches out the world every time he gets out there. So it's, I mean, good for the Marlins. The fish with arms, is that what they're called, right?
Fish who pitch.
The fish who pitch.
Yeah. They say fish with arms on Talking Baseball, but I like fish who pitch better.
So he got 2 outings during the week. You talked about them both, right?
Yes.
Monday went 6 innings, 7 Ks. Yep. Okay. Perfect. 44 punch outs so far this year and a 1.06 whip on the year. But yeah, it's impressive what he's doing too. We keep hearing about all these young stud pitchers, and the Marlins just keep bringing these guys up, and I don't know, they perform when they get up here.
He started 6 games this season, and the strikeouts in all 6 of those games: 6, 10, 7, 8, 7.
Yeah,
that's hot.
He's got electric stuff too. Mid-90s fastball, like good secondary stuff. It's the fish are in good hands. The fish are in. I'm going to get off course a little bit, but with that division the way it is, pitching's going to win you some games, and the fish seem to have it in spades.
Yeah,
which is a little frustrating as a Braves fan. If I'm honest.
Marlins are back, baby.
Marlins are back. Go ahead, Maddie.
I was watching the Marlins game, and the graphic that they put up that I thought was eye-opening was that he has already out-dueled DeGrom and Corbin Burns in his first 4 starts, and then went head-to-head with Scherzer and held his own. So he's up there with the best of them in the NL.
This is what I'm saying. Like, they're coming up and they're making an impact immediately, which is what teams want. This is what teams need. This, especially with the injuries that are happening these days. You're going to get your chance to pitch, and he's taking full advantage of it. And guys have been talking about him for a little while now, but to see it come to fruition, it's been pretty impressive.
And to maintain it. I mean, we talked about him a lot at the start of the season, but like we mentioned in the last episode, we were talking about the batting averages. Like, it's now getting to the point of the season where we're not looking at these numbers as like we have a pretty good sample size now. Right. And if you're maintaining what you're doing, then that's impressive. Right. Another pitcher in the NL who's been really good this week, he's like hurt, but he's going to be able to make his next start.
Yeah.
Is Ryan Weathers for the Padres. And that's somebody who we've talked about, I think, pretty much every week. But Wednesday, he threw 1 inning, 19 pitches, and he had a mound visit by the manager and the trainer after his second pitch of the night. So, like,
because the velo was down so much, right? So,
but how could they? I guess the warm-up pitches too.
Yeah, but even that, like, when a guy's, so if a guy's been sitting 92, 94, 96, and all of a sudden he's sitting at 90 for 3 straight pitches, you're going to be a little bit concerned.
Does that always point like injury in your head, or can there be like other?
There's so many factors that go into it, Kels. It's like, I've never really had a big influx up or down with my velocity. It's always maintained. It's always been pretty consistent. The only difference that I see is, like, I tell the story where my last warm-up pitch of every single outing I've ever had, I would throw the ball as hard as I possibly could and turn around and find the radar gun. And it always said like 84 or 83. Mm-hmm. But then as soon as the batter steps in there, it's 89, 90, 91. So I don't know what the mindset is, whether that makes it different or what.
I'm sure. Adrenaline.
I just think for them, for such a young stud to come out and not look like he's firing, they probably last thing they need is another injury to one of their starters. I think they did the right thing, but maybe the pitching coach saw something during warm-ups and was said, hey, make sure you keep your eye on this. And then 2 pitches in, they said, no, let's go check it out. But I hope he's okay. They have said that he should make his next start, which is always a good sign. I wouldn't say that if there was really any chance that he didn't make it. They usually err on the side of not giving fans hope that. So if he says, and maybe it's just fatigue, like he's thrown the most, we talked about him being built up on the last episode. So he's gradually getting to the point where he's going 4 or 5 innings, but he wasn't. I said in the last pod that was the most pitches he's thrown since A-ball in his last outing. So it could just be a little dead arm. It could just be fatigue. It could just be a few things manifesting all in one start. He gets a week where he throws 1 inning and he can bounce back and maybe start to rebuild his pitches after just going 1 week.
Well, he's pitched in 6 games. He's started 3 of those. He's only given up 1 run.
Yeah.
But in those 6 games that he's pitched in, he's pitched to a 0.55 ERA. He hasn't given up a run in any of his starts. His start before that was 5 2/3, so that was good. But
there you go. So that's what I'm saying. So he went 38, 11, 31, 79, 89, and then so I'm thinking that it's just a complete case of dead arm. He's probably increased
this early.
Yeah, because I don't know what he was doing in spring training or whether they were extending him in spring training, but to go sort of out of the bullpen. So he didn't make his first start until his 4th appearance, and he went 79 pitches after going 31. But it was only 6 days after he'd appeared in a game. So that's a big increase from 1 week to the next.
Looks like they had him doing both. It looks like he started 3 games in spring training and came out of the bullpen for 2 of them.
Okay.
But never went longer than 3. So
anyway, I don't want to start calling out everyone's medical staff on here, but I'm calling little fatigue and he'll be back ready to go next start, but he won't go 89 pitches. I think he'll probably build himself up again.
Well, I mean, that'll be soon because he was hurt on Wednesday. So we're taping this on Monday.
Yeah, it'll be today or tomorrow if they got a game.
Juicy.
Off day today.
Now, Yermin Mercedes for the White Sox. I think he's hitting below 400 now. Wah, wah, wah.
He finally is.
But I mean, he had a quiet week compared to the weeks in the past. Tuesday, he went 2 for 4 with 2 singles. Thursday, he hit the home run.
That's a quiet week.
For him, it's a quiet week compared to what we've been saying.
Maybe he ate too many of those burgers.
Yeah. But he's still hitting 395.
He's got to be a lock for Rookie of the Month, right?
Yeah, he's our Rookie of the Month for the AL.
I'm saying for the league. I mean, I'm not sure that we get a vote on the actual league award.
Oh, I thought we were voting. Okay.
We should do. But yeah, he's the impact that he's made to that team. And Louis Roberts getting hurt yesterday. Did you guys see that? Louis
Roberts. So tough when he went down.
So it looked bad. Whatever it was, it looked bad, and especially with a depleted outfield already for them.
Yeah.
That's the last guy you want to lose. I don't know what they're going to do, honestly. Andrew Vaughn, obviously.
Yeah. Speaking of the White Sox outfield, Andrew Vaughn, he's like heating up now, and that's really good to see because we kind of like put all of our money on him making one of our first 3 episodes about him, but he's now hitting 275. In his last 7, he has 9 hits.
Right. So this is a dude that we previewed in one of our mini episodes.
Yeah.
And who I compared to Ryan Zimmerman with his swing, and who I also really, really think is just a pure hitter. So I think what we're seeing now is a result of, again, we talk about getting, whether it's shaking the rust off or shaking the nerves off or whatever these guys face when they're forced into a role. I guess that's because it's not a role he's comfortable with it, but he also said you got to be uncomfortable being uncomfortable, or you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, which I thought was a really cool saying. So I guess he's got to the point now where he's feeling comfortable and he's getting his knocks, and he's going to play a huge role if they're to have an impact come, late season, mid season.
This is off topic, but we were talking about that drug earlier, DHXST. Paul Campbell for the Marlins, they just announced an 80-game suspension for him.
For the same thing.
Mm-hmm. DHCMT. Paul Campbell has been suspended 80 games after testing positive.
And that's the Soviet powerlifting thing from the 70s that somehow is just popping up in everyone's. Like,
So
this
weird.
is too many things to be a coincidence. There's too many.
I'll be curious to hear what he says if he says that, if he's claiming innocence too. But anyway, Andrew Vaughn, he's now hitting 275 and entering April 17th, he was hitting 136. So he is climbing up.
Yeah.
Climbing up. Nick Madrigal, just another guy to mention for the White Sox, since we're a White Sox pod, apparently.
Get some knocks, kiddo.
Yeah. They were talking about him on MLB Network earlier. He struck out 3 times this season.
Which you don't see these days, Kels.
Yeah.
That's the important thing to remember, is that the game doesn't care about strikeouts, right?
Mhm.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I do air quotes all the time. I'm going to cut that out.
No, we like the air quotes. Chipper likes the air quotes.
He
if
did,
Chipper
yeah.
Jones likes the air quotes, then we all like the air quotes.
So what I'm saying is we've moved into this, it's just another out phase in the game years ago, right? It's strikeouts don't matter, strike out as many times as you want. But I still like seeing a guy that takes pride in not striking out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a ball in play makes someone else make a play, and there's a chance that something could happen. And I like it still. So
last White Sox guy that we're going to talk about is Michael Kopech, who, if you're with us last week, you saw Peter say that he's going to throw the 21st no-hitter for the White Sox. And whether he's been starting, whether he's been coming out of, yes, Peter?
I was just going to say that's based on whether he remains a starter.
Yeah. But
okay.
Regardless, if he's starting, if he's coming out of the bullpen, he's getting the job done, and he's like doing it, like getting it done. So Saturday, 3 innings, no runs out of the bullpen, lowered his ERA to 1.45. And that's coming off of that 10 strikeout performance that we talked about in his second start of the season. So,
and he's already pitching more innings than he has in his career ever.
Wow.
Before this was 2018, where he threw, I think he threw like 18 innings, maybe 17 innings. So this is his first. I think he's still rookie eligible, isn't he?
He should be.
So this is another one that's on the ridiculous pitching list. Watch.
Yeah, he's struck out 30 and 18 and 2/3 innings this year, and has only given up 1 run in his 9, I guess, career relief appearances. So 7 games so far for Kopech. Kopey, kind of like that. And I don't know what the White Sox are doing with him. I don't know why are they doing this? Why are they moving him around?
I'm not privy to what's happening there.
But like, if he has the pedigree that he has as being really good,
you also got to make sure that you don't just blow him out. Because you can't go from having 18 innings in 2018 or whatever it was to 200 in 2020 when everybody is going to be on that sort of innings watch anyway because of the short season last year. Yeah. So I just think they're just trying to make sure that he can last the whole season.
Do you think that's throwing him off though?
Doesn't seem to be.
Obviously not, but
right.
Stupid question.
It doesn't seem to be affecting him whatsoever. He also got a shout out from Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you
saw that. Doesn't Patrick Mahomes own part of the Royals or something?
Yeah. You get a $500 million contract. You can own pretty much part of whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can have part of me if he wants to pay up.
So we did get a shout out from P Money, and then the guy who had the biggest week for all of our young farmers is Alex Kirlloff for the Twins. Holy smokes. I mean, he made his regular season debut April 14th, didn't pick up his first hit until April 26th. So however, 9 games, I don't know how many games that would be. He couldn't stop hitting home runs versus Patrick Mahomes Royals this weekend.
I know it was a 10-0 game, but he took Danny Duffy, who's having a really, really good year, took him into their bullpen. His power, again, I mention this every week, but his power seems to be that oppo gap. These kids are coming up now, and everybody's trying to hit the ball to the left center, right center gaps, and it's carrying, and it's, the balls aren't juiced anymore, but all these young dudes are just going oppo like it's not even a thing anymore. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
The baseball field has become so even. It doesn't matter to these guys. There's not a lot of just strictly pull hitters left anymore, which is, I guess, good. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion about that. Okay. But
Appreciate your input.
But that first home run that he hit on Friday, his first career home run, was that opposite field 3-run shot. And then in his next at bat, he hit another home run to straightaway center field, and he crushed that one.
4 for the week.
Yeah, he worked a walk later in that game. He homered the next day, 432 feet opposite field. Sunday, another home run. That one was another 3-run shot, crushed for 431 feet. So he's like getting a hold of these things and sending them on a little Kirlloff-y ride. But he started his career 0 for 15, and kind of like you said, maybe just getting more comfortable, and they stuck with him when he wasn't hitting. But like, he was a first-round pick in 2016. They know what this guy can do, and they're starting to get a taste of it. And maybe they should just keep playing the Royals all season.
Justin Morneau's in the booth, and he seems like a really, really lovely guy. And at one point, they had Mauer and Morneau in the booth at the same time. And it was just like a nice guy competition. But anyway, the way that he talked about that feeling of hitting your first home run on their broadcast and how exciting it must be for Kirlloff, it makes you sort of realize. And obviously, I know what that feels like to get your first strikeout or whatever. But as a hitter, I feel like hitters have way more impact in the game. It's like they have the cool moments, they have the walk-offs, the bat flips, but I can't imagine how cool that feels.
Yeah. So debuted in the playoffs last year. He started the week hitting 056, and I think he's hitting 184 going into Monday. So also I love Target Field. That's like Target Field is sleeper in my top 5 ballparks. I can't tell you why, but I loved Minneapolis, but we went in the summer. So it was just like, like I have a friend, Angie, and we went out like on a little boat, and then we went to the Mall of America, and then I thought the ballpark was beautiful. And,
yeah, it's gorgeous.
Love Target Field. And every time I say
from the hotel there.
Yeah. Do you like Target Field?
Yeah, I do. And
would you put it in your top? What would you put it in your top?
10.
Okay.
No.
Oh, really?
The shower heads are horrendous. That's the only thing that I would say about the place is the shower heads are no good.
Got it. Noted. And then one more guy that we want to hit on in our Rookie of the Year watch, just because he had a quiet week, but on Thursday, Taylor Trammell won the game for the Mariners versus the Astros. Hit his 4th home run of the season. That you saw that game-saving catch, bottom of the 9th. So yeah, it was a 1-0 win.
I just wanted Sam Dykstra came out with a list of the hottest rookies for the last 2 weeks, and I just wanted because remember the MGM odds that we gave last week, and the guys there's a few guys that should be, if you're a betting person,
they're not updating those odds. I wish they were. Right.
Well, this is what I'm saying. You should be able to get in there and get some good odds on some of these guys. But number 1 is Adolis Garcia. 2 is Trevor Rogers. 3 is Dylan Carlson. 4 is Jazz Chisholm. 5 Yermin Mercedes. 6 Ryan Weathers. 7 Michael Kopech. 8 Pavin Smith, who we're going to talk about. 9 Josh Fleming, who we're going to talk about. And 10 Nicky Madrigal. So thanks Sam Dykstra, MLB.com. Appreciate you. Thanks very much. I steal a lot of your stuff because you're very informative.
So moving into Farm to Flame, this is where we haven't quite defined what we think this segment is. These are guys who are trying to make their way into the Rookie of the Year conversation. They either had a good week or they did something notable this week. A couple Braves to talk about, Peter. I'll let you kind of carry the weight there, starting with Cristian Pache.
Well, our friend Cristian Pache got sent down to the alternate side to get some at-bats and get comfortable, and he got hurt. He pulled I think it was a quad strain, so he was on the IL for 10 days and got sent to the alternate site, #alternate site. Clearly made some adjustments to his swing, and first at bat back hits a grand slam against Toronto. We eventually ended up losing that game, but it was a good moment for him, great moment for him. I think something that of note was that the next game he decided to lay down a running bunt, which is for a base hit, which is again something we don't see these days. So he had a good week, and I think when you get comps of Andrew Jones before you've even really established yourself, that's going to put a lot of pressure on anyone. So I felt like he was feeling that in the box a lot. Andrew Jones was an absolute superstar of the game. 10 Gold Gloves in a row and 53 homer season, 400
We're an
homers.
Andrew Jones pod here.
Like it's that's a lot of pressure. So I'm happy for him to be able to get comfortable. And William Contreras also got called up on Sunday to replace the injured Darno. First at bat got a knock and an RBI. So I think you'll see him be the starter for the Bravos, which is, I don't know if I mentioned on this pod or another one, but when he was down at the alternate site, I think they were just looking for someone because he's the starting catcher. He's going to be the starting catcher of the future. I feel like nothing against Alec Jackson, but I just think that Contreras is the starter. Brother of Wilson Contreras from the Cubs. So it's in the blood.
And he got a wee little taste last year.
Yeah,
4
he
for
did.
10 with a double in 4 games. But like, this is a guy we've been hearing about with the Braves for years, which is, you know, how you're saying that you think he's going to be the starting catcher of the future.
Yeah.
Like this is who they have pegged. This is who they have groomed to be that. So we'll see how he fares in this stint. The Braves losing Darno is a big blow. I mean, but he did have like a career year last year.
He did.
So
it's not just what he does at the plate. It's more than that with Darno. Like he handles that pitching staff really well. So that's a big loss.
I was trying to figure out if they might give our boy, I think this is his glove, Tyler Flowers, a ring.
They did. They gave him a ring and they appointed him as a catching consultant.
Okay.
They do have Jeff Mathis.
Yeah.
The veteran. So I'm not sure, again, off day today, I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. They open up a series in DC tomorrow.
Do you think there's any chance Tyler Flowers, is he in game shape, you think?
I have no clue. I spoke to him earlier in the year and we didn't talk about playing or not playing. We talked about other things.
Tyler Flowers is one of the nicest guys I ever covered. And you will
Great
never
family.
hear me say a negative word about him or his wife,
66
Nancy.
kids they've had. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing how many kids
Lots
that they consider.
And there were a few of you guys who, like, I could ask Tyler a question in the dugout, like a baseball related question. He would sit there with me for 45 minutes and explain it to me and it was like, he just wanted to make sure that I got it. And he was so I love Tyler Flowers. Anyway, totally off of our horsey that we're riding, but sticking in the NL East, Nick Maton for the Phillies. This dude is still hitting 348.
Yeah. I watched him last night too. He's a good hitter.
348. He came up and was really hot. And then he had 3 straight hitless games. Yeah. 3 consecutive hitless games. And then he had a multi-hit game, reached base 3 times in a multi-hit game. But yeah, first 13 games as a big leaguer, he's hitting 348 with 5 doubles and 5 multi-hit games. That's insane. 13 career big league games, and 5 of them have been multi-hit games. And he was born in 1997. So he's little. Not little, but he's young.
Is that your year,
Maddie Mass? You were in 1997?
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't that much before you. I was 92. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah. He debuted on April 19th and has obviously been really good. Another NL East guy, Jordan Holloway for the Marlins. Fish who pitch, Peter.
The fish who pitch. What did he do? He went
2 shutty versus the Nats.
3rd shutout for the Marlins of the year. So far, he's pitching 4 games, 7 innings, 2 hits, 7 Ks, 1 walk, no runs.
So 7 games. You said 7 games, no runs.
No runs.
7 strikeouts?
7 strikeouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to end up being a piece for them.
Fish who pitch.
Fish who pitch.
And all of those 7, he's a reliever straight up, right?
Yeah. But he's not someone that we've mentioned before.
No, we haven't.
Not someone that was on our radar before. So again, this is going to be such a massive undertaking by us to keep following all these young dudes that are just coming in, and it's every week there's so many different people that come in and make an impact. It's nuts. I don't remember a time like this. I don't remember a time where so many young people have come in and just instantly made an impact. And at the same time, you got people like Trout, who's had the best month of his life. So I really think the game's in a good place. I just want to see more consistent baseball from good teams or supposed good teams.
How many Jordans do you think there are on active rosters in Major League Baseball?
Jordan Zimmerman, Jordan Montgomery, Jordan Sheffield, Jordan. I'm going to say 12.
There's 9. So, ooh.
I'm okay. It's fine. The desk is a little lower than a Manscaped, so there's a lot. Carry on.
Well, I kind of thought that you don't meet, like, I feel like there's not many, I don't know, Jordans anymore. So he's 1-9 Jordan. Jordan Holloway for the Marlins fish who pitch remains unscored upon in his major league career. Tyler Stephenson for the Reds.
This dude just rakes.
Yeah, he's
although that whole Cincinnati team just rakes, if I'm completely honest. But yeah.
Tyler Stephenson is still hitting 364. I don't think I knew this. Kennesaw Mountain. He went to Kennesaw Mountain High School.
Georgia, Texas, California.
Wow. Yeah.
Florida.
I like split time between Buckhead area and Ackworth, Kennesaw area. So interesting. I didn't know he went to Kennesaw Mountain. So he has been, and he's just like been consistently producing all season. I think that we've mentioned him on almost every show.
I don't think we give him enough credit though. So
no,
shout out to Tyler Stephenson.
Well, because we were talking so much about Jonathan India, who was hurt this week. He was activated off the IL like yesterday. And Jonathan India had a great start to the season, but Tyler Stephenson hasn't stopped. Like he has continued to be consistent at the plate. You don't hear about him on MLB. I feel like I don't hear about him anywhere. I don't really see him on Twitter. I don't really see him on MLB Network.
Right.
But
we're keeping tabs, buddy.
Yeah.
We got you. Okay.
We're right there. Tyler
Let me know if
Stevenson.
you need a Manscaped. I got a spot.
20% off code farm. So Tyler Stephenson, we got you. We understand that you aren't getting the recognition that you deserve, but we, the farmers of John Boy Media, we have your back and we respect your 364 batting average.
Go to war for you.
Yes, we will battle, throw some respect on Tyler Stephenson's name, world.
Straight up.
Feel better. Justin Williams for the Cardinals. We kind of like skimmed over him, and then you got to see a live at bat, and you're like, yo, I'm really into his swing.
I am really into his swing, but this week he's made some couple of defensive plays that were pretty spectacular. If you haven't seen them already, I'm sure Maddie's going to link them right here. Maybe he's had enough time. Maybe he doesn't have enough time. Who knows? But if it's linked here, check it out because 2 great defensive plays. So check it out over there. Yeah, he's patrolling the outfield nicely. So between him and Dylan Carson out there, they are covering some ground. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Dylan Carlson is a guy that we're not talking about this week because he had a slow week, but we'll be talking about him for weeks to come. He's still hitting 265. But Justin Williams on Saturday pinch hit in the 9th inning and homered. The 2-run shot, and it was his first since April 19th. So Justin Williams, we see you. Pavin Smith, I feel like he kind of broke out in that Braves series.
You think? Yeah.
And Thursday, 2 for 5, Sunday, home run. He's hitting 272, 4-game hit streak. In that 4-game hit streak, he's 6 for 18 with a homer, a triple, a double, 3 RBI, and a pair of runs scored.
Mm-hmm. Such an unsuspecting looking character too. Like it's sort of got a little bit of Cole Calhoun about him, but he's not he's not a big strapping lad, but he's certainly wiry strong by the looks of it. Maybe a Sean Green comp from back in the day for those Mets fans back in the day, Dodgers fans. Sean Green. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, dude's hitting 272, 3 home run, 10 RBI. Came from Virginia, but he kind of like broke out in that Braves series, and
he hit his 3rd home run to give the Diamondbacks the league on Sunday.
424 feet.
Yeah.
So a guy that I accidentally skipped over is JP Feyerison for the Brewers, and all he's done this year is
give it to me.
15 games to a 0 ERA.
Come on. Still going?
Yeah, 15 games. And his 2 outings this week that were super notable, or that might have been his only 2 outings of the week, were versus the Dodgers. I know the Dodgers are skidding right now, but they kind of broke out on Sunday. They put up 27,000 runs. But JP pitched against them on Thursday and Friday, both scoreless innings, 15 games, 14 innings pitched, and a 0 ERA. And also very notable is his last name, Feyerison. Fire, ice, fire. I just think it's strong.
It is. It's very strong.
What do you think the strongest name in Major League Baseball is? I couldn't answer this question off the top of my head, so I asked you.
Thank you.
Oh, I still like Ty.
I mean, Mercedes is pretty sick.
I like JP Feyerison. Yeah, he has been really good out of the Brewers bullpen. Him and Hader are just kind of like, hey, we got you.
It's game over. Yeah.
We got you.
First place Brewers, by the way, without Cristian Yelich.
Yeah. Gosh, we're missing. We'll get to injuries quickly, but like, I mean, Belly, I don't think Bellinger is anywhere close to coming back. Right. Yelly is out. Like, you have some big, I don't know. That sucks.
So you just talked about Feyerison, right?
Yeah.
I was going to give Garrett Whitlock. I'm still going to give Garrett Whitlock a shout out because up until Sunday, he had gone without giving up a run, and he gave up his first run on Sunday. So, you know, these things do come to an end.
Yeah.
Jump back on the horse. But Garrett Whitlock has been a huge piece of that Boston, first place Boston. I mean, Bobby Dalbec had his first home run while we're talking about the Red Sox. Got to give, first time we mentioned Bobby Dalbec on the pod.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
no, because I had to have Matty Mass say it how Bobby Dal.
Right, but he hasn't really done anything. Like he went off when he first came to the show. He had a massive spring training. You know, everyone was kind of expecting him to just hit the floor running, and he didn't really do a lot. But now maybe Austin Riley style power stroke. Now that he's found one, he's going to find 10, and we can talk about him a little bit more. But he was on that Team USA for the Premier 12 that Australia beat. But yeah, I got to meet him. He's a great kid, and I'm looking forward. And he's a good-looking unit too.
Is he?
Yeah, check it.
I think I knew that.
He'll be on the hot list instantly. I mean, if he's not already on there, the mansplain baseball elsewhere girls they'd be remiss if they don't start looking Bobby Dalbec's way.
Bobby Dalbec. Yeah, so Garrett Whitlock has been very good for the Red Sox. Another reliever in the AL who, like, every week we're like, should we talk about him? I don't know. Chris Rodriguez for the Angels. Okay. Debuted on April 2nd. 2016 fourth round pick by the Angels out of high school.
This is the guy that was going to be in the starting rotation, maybe not in the starting rotation, that guy?
This was the guy when we were talking about Reed Detmers and Chris Rodriguez at the beginning of the season. They were like, one of them is going to crack the bullpen. We're thinking it's going to be Chris Rodriguez because his stuff plays better up here. Wednesday, 3 1/3 shutty, got the win. He has a 2.45 ERA and 7 appearances this season. He's pitched 14 2/3 inning pitch. All appearances but one have been longer than 1 inning, which you can pick up from 14 2/3 and 7 appearances.
Yeah.
But he hadn't thrown above high A until this month. Like, he was drafted straight out of high school. So I don't know. He has been a reliable arm for them and a long relief guy, which we know how important that is. So Chris Rodriguez for the Angels, we see you. He's getting a lot of attention, though, so he doesn't need our attention in the way Tyler Stephenson does. Jared Walsh for the Angels has been really good. Saturday, we talked about him. He's not really a rookie. He's just a guy who I feel like a lot of people don't know who he is. But he went 4 for 4 on Saturday with 2 home runs. He homered in the first and the second inning. And he's hitting .360. But he's a little overshadowed because you got Mike Trout, who goes 3 for 4 every stinking game. You got Shohei Ohtani, who's talented as all be all.
Both on My Planet Baseball, by the way.
Yeah. How's Anthony Rendon doing this season?
I don't think he must be hurt because I haven't heard his name a lot.
Yeah. Just homered yesterday. But Shohei was scratched from his start tonight. So
he got hit. He got hit yesterday in the elbow, I think. I don't know.
It's hard for me to watch everything that goes on in the world of baseball.
Emanuel for the Astros. This is a guy who, in his MLB debut, we talked about him in our opener segment, I think last week. 8 2/3 in relief in your MLB debut. Like, go get him.
Go get him.
He's another Georgia guy from the Woodstock area, but he obviously wasn't able to pitch for a little bit because 8 2/3. I think we said he threw 92 pitches that outing.
It's
So
just
he
like a
had-
start. So he probably would have had 5 days off, right?
Yeah. So he pitched Friday was his first outing since then. It was a scoreless inning versus the Rays. Sunday,
Just
another. Yeah, just one inning. Sunday
Oh, that's
pitched
it.
again against the Rays, another scoreless inning, lowered his ERA to 169.
Good for him.
So he is the 0 is the number of
Yeah,
games
I
that should have
really
been
think
suspended.
like throw him in with Justin Lawrence, throw him in with a lot of guys apparently. So if we do nothing else on this pod, we're going to get to the bottom of that steroid.
Yeah. Emanuel Clase for the Indians is a guy that we talked about a lot in the beginning, and I feel like we haven't talked about him as much.
Good, I'm glad you brought him up.
But Peter, 13 relief appearances this year,
Yeah.
has not allowed an earned run. And
This is the guy, for those that don't remember, this is the guy with the 101 mile an hour cutter. So we talked about 101 mile an hour sinker to start the show. Now we're closing with Emanuel Clase, who throws 101 mile an hour cutters. And yeah, he's another level. All these guys are different levels. If they can hone and get to the point where they're comfortable throwing 2 pitches, I don't understand how anyone can hit it. Yeah, I really, there's already way more strikeouts than hits happening around the league. So it's not going to get any easier for these guys.
Yeah. What was the number you said earlier? 1,000.
1,092 more strikeouts than hits in the month of April.
Crazy. And we've talked about a lot of the guys who have contributed to that. Dylan Cease for the White Sox, another White Sox guy, 7 shutty on 91 pitches. And it was a complete game because it was a doubleheader.
It was gross.
We haven't talked about him. And that's somebody whose name, like, you heard a lot coming into the season.
Well, because he's not rookie eligible. He's been around for a little bit. So
yeah.
But he is still young enough to get mentions.
Yeah, so 7 shutty for him. He has a 2.96 ERA in 5 games. Another Georgia guy from Milton, Georgia. Geez Louise. I know you said like what, Georgia, Texas, Florida, like
California.
Geez Louise.
Yeah, I know.
And that was his longest. His longest before that was 4 2/3. So that was impressive. And he obviously it was cut short because it was a doubleheader, the 7 innings, but he was at 91 pitches. So maybe since he's young, he wouldn't have gone another, but he could have gone another and gone 8. So that's impressive. Shane McClanahan for the Rays confused me because he pitched in the ALDS versus the Yankees in 2020. So Thursday was his regular season debut.
There you go.
What did you like from him, Peter?
Well, everything, obviously. 101, again, seems to be the theme. We should just call this the 101 pod because he was throwing 101 mile an hour sinkers from the left side. Got a little taste of, as you said, the playoffs last year. So I don't think a lot's going to phase this kid. Went 4 innings for his first start. Was disgusting. Electric stuff this kid has. Gave up a couple runs, but, again, if he can find it, if he's going to start, like, I'm so glad I got my career when I did. I really am. And I look at the game now and I'm like, it's insane, the talent level. I feel like I say this every week, but the talent in this league right now is ungodly.
Yeah.
It's so good, Kels. It's so good. We're seeing the best baseball player in the world play, and the best player may be arguably the best baseball player that's ever played the game, who had arguably the best month he's ever had in the month of April.
Yeah.
We've got a starting pitcher that also rakes, who's being compared to Babe Ruth. Like, this is the game that's happening right now, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is doing other things. Go ahead. Yeah, Manny.
The best part is that Trout had his best month ever, and he didn't even win Player of the Month. So
that's the point.
Yeah.
Trout's so good.
The best baseball player to ever play the game had the best month he's ever had, and he got out-dueled by someone who had a better month.
Yeah, so not that I want to transition us away, but Buxton won Player of the Month with Acuna. Then Cole and DeGrom were your pitchers of the month. And then that leads us to our rookies of the month.
Yeah.
The MLB kind of stole our thunder because they named the same two guys we were going to name as rookie of the month. But they said Yermin and Trevor Rogers, just like we were going to say rookies of the month.
Farmers of the month. Farmer rookies.
So well done. Something that MLB got right. You got to give props when props are due, and they got
what
that
a
right.
rough month for them, man.
The umpires have had quite possibly the roughest month in the history of the game.
The Andrew McCutcheon, don't.
Okay, but was it this week that? Yeah, it was in Milwaukee when he just tried to field the ball on the grass.
Yes.
Okay, so that was this week too.
Yeah.
Do they think that? Okay, here's my theory, and this is my only theory that I've just thought about this in my head right now. So this could go places we probably don't want to go. But my theory is now, right?
Okay.
I feel like the umpires are at a point now where robots are coming. We just have to work out a way, because the robots aren't going to be able to do the signs of calls, or maybe they're just trying to be just bad enough that they get to stay on the field and get paid as proxy umpires, and they have a buzzer on their side to tell them what the call was so they can do the theater of making calls. Maybe they're auditioning for the theatrical performances of the umpires that are going to be the future when we have robots.
It's so bad. It's so terrible. It is. There have just been and if you're listening to this podcast, it's a very likely chance that you listen to John Boy's breakdowns, which is how this empire kind of began. But I think he did 15 breakdowns this week. I got in an email, and he covers all of these things. And there have just been so many just terrible calls, just flat out wrong calls impacting the game. Anyway.
That's the issue though, Kelsey, is that it impacts the game. It costs teams a game, and that single a game can cost you a playoff run. So it's serious stuff. You can play it off as it's just one call, but that guy scores. The Milwaukee guy scored, may have ended up scoring anyway, but he should have been on base in the first place. That's the part that shits me, is that you're going to cost people games, and you're going to cost people money, and you're going to cost people playoff shares, and you're going to cost people that goes against stats. That could be some guy could have a incentive in his contract, and that one base hit, goes, or one error or one run costs him an incentive. It's just, we just want to get the calls right. And even replay's been so bad. Figure it out. Just, it's as simple as that. Figure it out.
People are sad. People are mad. People are frustrated. And quite frankly, it's becoming a joke. It's just, but we've surpassed the laughable stage, and now it's just
frustrating.
What are you doing? Anyway, kind of wrapping up, just some notable injuries. Our king. It's time for our king. Chisholm Jr. on the IL. We scientifically decided that he will be activated the day he's eligible to come off, because he tweeted, "Has it been 10 days yet?" And you wouldn't tweet, "Has it been 10 days yet?" if you weren't ready. So science. But what's scary is he's out with a left hamstring strain, and hammies are not fun. Hammies and obliques.
Also, the Marlins are obviously not going for it payroll wise. If they happen to slip into the playoffs, they're not going to be mad. I think that if this was a year that they may have been going for it, he may have been playing through this injury if he's already tweeting that has it been 10 days yet. So that's one thing that maybe they were erring on the side of caution to make sure that they don't ruin their and our king. So
he played in 2 games this week. Monday, 2 for 5 with 2 steals, a single and a ground rule double. Tuesday, got a hit in his only at bat and stole a base, and then left the game with an injury after the first. So he hit the IL on Wednesday. I'm assuming it was retroactive to Tuesday, but Another king, our short king, Alejandro Kirk for the Blue Jays, who went off against the Braves. The 2 home runs on Friday.
We're fine.
Green light on a 3-0 count.
The team's fine.
He is on the
Everything's
IL
fine.
with a left hip flexor strain. But that game on Friday, he became the youngest catcher in team history with a multi-homer game. So good for short king Alejandro Kirk. Key Brian Hayes. When are you coming back? We miss you so. Yes.
I had written down, because earlier in the week, the reports were that he hadn't started swinging, but he was running and fielding. As of Sunday, he took some dry swings.
Okay.
Which means next would be off the tee, then some sock toss, then maybe some flips, and then some BP, hopefully not in 40-degree weather, and then he will be back.
Key Brian Hayes.
Give him 2 weeks, I'd say.
The Bucks need you.
That's my guess. My medical
this
expert guess.
Completely flew over my radar. Zach McKinstry for the Dodgers. I noticed he hadn't been in any of the box scores recently, but he's on the IL with an oblique injury. Julian Merryweather is a guy that we talked about a ton in the first week. He was pretty much the closer for the Blue Jays, and he was very, very good. He is shut down for a couple of weeks with an oblique injury. And Garrett Crochet, a guy we talked about, upper back strain.
Yeah.
But the Blue Jays have been peppered with so many injuries. It's unbelievable. But they finally got some good news that Nate Pearson, that's their top prospect, it was activated from the 10-day IL, and they optioned him to the alternate training site, and he's going to travel with the AAA team to Trenton. So that's some good news for them.
They also, Springer came out of the game yesterday too, though. So that's
I mean, but that, and what makes me more nervous about Springer coming out of the game is that he had just gotten back from an injury, and then he only played like two games versus the Braves. Then, did you want to hit on the debuts? There were 12 debuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Math checks out, not a math pod. Hyung Jong Yang.
Okay.
With the Rangers.
Okay. Debut.
14 seasons in the KBO. 2017 MVP in the KBO. 2-time champ in the KBO 09-17. 2 games, 8.2 innings, 2 earned runs. Well done. Trevor McGill. 3rd round pick in 2014 from St. Louis. 7th round with San Diego in 2015. Rule 5 by Chicago, December 19, made his debut. 2 games, couple of hits. Well done.
Okay.
Jay Flah, 6th round pick in 2015. 20th North Dakotan player to play in the big leagues. 1 game, 1.1 inning, 1K. Well done.
North Dakota State isn't that really fun football school? FCS. They like win the national championship every single year.
This is a baseball pod.
I'm sorry. Go on.
I'm
Jay
Australian.
Flah. FLAA.
Double A. Don't forget it. Aaron. Justin Lawrence. We hit on him. Well done.
Yep.
Ben Rothvelt.
I'm so
2nd
glad
round
you had to
pick
say
in
that.
2016 out of high school. Reached Double A in 2019. 1 for 5 with an RBI. Congratulations. Edwin Uketa, not sure the pronunciation. Signed in July 16 out of the Dominican Republic. Reached Double A in 2019. 1 game. Took the loss. 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 Ks. He threw to the pitcher for the Milwaukee pitcher and threw an 0-2 fastball like at his neck, and he swung, but it was gross. Anyway, Nick Sandlin, 2nd round pick of 2018, sidearm.
Yeah.
1 game, 1 inning, 1 strikeout.
1, 2, 3 inning.
Well done.
And his MLB debut.
Wyatt Mills, surely from Texas. 3rd round pick in 2017. Team USA Premier 12, 2019. How'd that go for Team Australia? Good for us. It's another sidearm guy, by the way.
Wow.
1 inning, clean. Well done. Mario Feliciano, 2nd round pick in 2016 out of Puerto Rico. Carolina League MVP in 2019. 1 plate appearances, nothing. But he got a plate appearance, so it counts.
Didn't he draw a walk?
Maybe. That's probably why it doesn't say anything. I didn't write it down. See, that's why you're here.
I follow somebody on Twitter that tweeted that.
Lucas Gilbreth, 36th round pick.
Wow.
Originally, and then didn't sign in 2014. Then it was the 7th round pick in 2017. 2 hits and 1 inning. What? I can't even read my own writing. Gave up 2 hits in an inning and gave up a run.
Okay.
This is why you don't do this late on a Sunday night, guys. Okay. Alec Betting. This is the tough one. This is the starter for the Milwaukee on Sunday.
Alec Bettinger.
Yeah, he had a 10th round pick in 2017.
I was listening to MLB Network and I heard Bettinger, and I was like, Bellinger, is he back? Like, no.
He went 4 innings in his major league debut, and we'll just leave it there. But he did have a major league debut. Keegan Thompson, 33rd round pick by Detroit in 2016, didn't sign. Another one of these guys. Ended up going, bet on yourself, kids. Ended up going in the 3rd round in 2017. Pitched around 2 hits and a walk for a 0 versus Cincinnati. He's with the Cubs. Okay. So that was the debuts of the week. That is
debuts. All right. Way to go, Peter.
Try to write better in the future.
We did the opener. We did Rookie of the Year. We did Farm to Flame. We did debuts. We did injuries. Do we want to talk about Scherzer complete game, racing out of the ballpark? Let's just give him claps. Let's give him claps. Scherzer threw a complete game Sunday and had to out of the ballpark because his wife gave birth 2 hours after the game ended. So Max Scherzer, one of the greatest competitors ever, 2 different color eyes, brown eyes, pitching eye, the other eye's blue. Blevins, tip of the cap to Jerry Blevins. 609 career, he retired is why we're tipping the cap. 609 career appearances and a 3.54 ERA. Mm-hmm. And bullpen guy, played for the Athletics, the Nationals, the Mets, and the Braves. So he was with the Braves when I was with the Braves, and he is so nice and like so personable and just like funny. And I know his name. I know his name is Jerry, right? And I had interviewed him before, and I had talked about him, numerous reports, whatever it may be. We are in the hotel lobby, I think in like Minnesota or something. And like all the bullpen guys were down there. You might've been down there, Peter. I don't know. And I was trying to ask him something, and I kept calling him Jeremy. It was also when Jeremy Walker played for this. And I know Jerry's name. I know it's Jerry. I had to say it numerous times. And I kept saying, Jeremy. And he wasn't turning around and looking at me. And then he like turned around and looked at me, and he was like, it's Jerry. And I was like, oh, I know that. Oh my gosh. And it was in front of all of the relievers. And I was just so embarrassed. And then he unfollowed me on Twitter, and he favorited one of my tweets recently. So that's good. But I think he hates me, and it makes me really sad because I think Jerry Blevins is awesome and I know his name.
Well, that's a great story, Kelly. But I got to tell you.
Tough. That's a tough one. And like, I know he knows that I knew that. Because
deep down, everybody knows. Yeah. But
Jeremy and Jerry are close, and it was after we traveled, and you know, my brain, and it's one of those moments I shouldn't be as embarrassed about it and he probably completely forgot about this moment. Maybe he sees this clip on Twitter. It's one of those moments where every time I think about it, it literally makes me cringe. I'm still so embarrassed of it. Right. So Jerry Blevins retired, and he had a great career. Pioneer League rule changes is another one of the minor league.
I kind of like that. This
I'm
is going to go
into
knockout home run derby action.
Yes. So you choose a hitter, and he receives 5 pitches. And the player who hits the most home runs during the knockout round is named the winner of the game. So this is replacing extra innings.
I'm here for it.
But we'd never see that bleed over, right?
I never thought we'd see the extra inning rule as we have it now in Major League Baseball.
Never say never.
I never thought that they would put a runner at second base in a Major League Baseball game to start an inning so that we don't go more extra innings. I don't know. I can't say whether it's just Robbie Manfred has
he's wild right now.
He's taken the reins, and he's I think he's doing a few shots on the way. Like he's just riding horses, shooting whiskey and just saying, let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can mess up this game this week.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, Peter?
Yeah. Shout out to Beatty and Pollock, who got 15 RBIs yesterday, which was
wild,
pretty impressive between the two of them, 8 and 7. Have yourselves a week in a day. Congratulations. Royals officially make the top 5 of the power rankings.
And Peter Moylan called it.
And I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Just in case. We already mentioned Bryce Harper took the ball to the face, and then did you watch the game last night at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first at bat, lefty, tough matchup, drives the ball the other way like it's nothing, right? So, okay, I'm thinking he's over it. A couple of bats later, he takes that massive swing, and it looks like he dislocates his elbow or something. Like he has to bunt to finish off the at bat. And then he comes up and strikes out to end the game, taking full hacks.
Yeah.
Like, it was a strange course of events. Is that?
Gosh, that was such a wild ending to the game, though. He probably was just trying so hard to ball don't lie it. But, I mean, what was that pitch he wore? A 97-mile-per-hour pitch to the face, and he's playing 2 days later. So, Bryce Harper, but not awesome that he got hit in the face, but game, being back in there. Very scary situation. Do you have and I don't even think you prepped for this, so this is going to be off the top of your head. Australian lingo word for us today.
Let's go with boot and bonnet.
Okay.
The boot is the trunk of the car.
Oh.
And the
bonnet. Like you pop the boot?
You pop the boot.
Okay.
Pop the boot for me.
Okay.
And the bonnet is the front of the car. Can you pop the bonnet for me?
Wow. Are you lying?
No. Boot and bonnet.
That's
Look
so
it up.
Random.
Fact check me right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There you go.
Boot and bonnet. What countries use this? The UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, and Hong Kong.
Officially fact checked.
Okay, so thongs, flip-flops, keeping track.
Yeah.
Boot and bonnet.
Yeah.
Trunk and hood.
Yeah.
And now we are Melbourne Aces fans.
Correct.
So I think that covers everything, y'all. That was a long episode. We want to thank again Manscaped for being our first ever sponsor.
So does my wife.
Lawnmower 4.0. Lawnmower 4.0. Great packaging. So thank you guys so much again for listening. You guys have been so nice to us on Twitter and telling us that you're really enjoying the podcast, and we are so enjoying it too. We're having
even if you're lying, we will take the compliments. And if you are sending us bad messages, we will think you're lying.
You are lying. Thank you guys again for tuning in every Wednesday morning. This is out. You can watch it on John Boy Media Baseball channel. You can listen to it anywhere you get your podcasts, and keep up with us on social media. Peter really likes his shirt from Manscaped. So thank you guys.
Just tweaking the nipple just a little bit every time.
We're going to end it on that. Thank you guys so much for listening and for supporting us. We love you. Farm on.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
Into that. Thank you.
Farm on, farm often.
I'm into it.
What?
Okay. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. And the next episode we're going to do, minor league baseball starts this week.
How do we not mention that?
I know. I meant to do it at the top of the show. Minor league baseball starts this week, and we are going to be talking about the guys turning it up down there in our Give 'em the Call segment. So minor league baseball, also, they got a pay raise this year. They got better facilities this year. So all around, great job. We're excited for minor league season. We will talk all about that next week. Hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you on Wednesday morning.